and time for us to engage in that feature that we love every Tuesday. It is Nun Sense, and today we welcome Sister Christina Marie Neumann, and she is a Minnesota native and is a Franciscan in Hankinson, North Dakota. Good morning, Sister.
Good morning.
How are you?
Pretty good. And you?
Wonderful, and glad to have you aboard here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Just taking a look, not only a sister, but a blogger, too. Now, we're seeing this more and more, but still not a whole lot of sisters out there blogging. So tell us about your personal blog, sister.
Well, it's actually more of a community blog than personal. I mean, I'm the one who writes it, but I do it for my community. I've been doing it since about 2015, and just sharing reflections from the Gospels or just stories from everyday life, just trying to help people grow spiritually and also let them know a little glimpse into religious life, what it's really like, because to many people it seems to be mysterious, and just help them to know that it's normal people who are religious sisters too. So, it's kind of a
day in the life of a religious sister. I would say that's something you know a bit about, though, you and the other members of your community.
Right.
So tell us a bit about the work that you're doing there. I see you've been engaged in many things during your vocation here, but right now working with some of the sisters in the infirmary.
Yeah. So yes, up to 4 days a week I do that, working with our sisters who need some assistance. And I also help with things for the retreat center. We're getting ready for our retreat schedule for the coming year, and excited about that. A little gardening and just a variety of things right now.
Yeah, sounds like a wonderful life. And, of course, we just celebrated recently the Feast of St. Clair, which, of course, is near and dear to your community, right?
Yes. Actually, that would have been Sunday, but it got missed this year because of the way the week falls. And, but we actually celebrated the 75th anniversary of one of our sisters, Sister Leonida. She made her first vows 75 years ago this past weekend. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, so if you want to lead a long, fulfilling life, join your community.
Right. Yeah.
Sister, tell us about your vocation. How did that develop? What drew you to being a religious sister, particularly Franciscan?
Sure. That's a long story, but so as you mentioned before, I grew up in Minnesota, and during my college years is when I first perceived the call to religious life through time in our Adoration Chapel, actually. At that point, I really didn't have a clue where I would go or what it would look like. I didn't have a lot of exposure to sisters. But through the process of discerning and visiting, I came to know about the sisters in Hankinson and visited, and it seemed like a good fit. And actually, before that, I wasn't terribly interested in Franciscan communities, but a trip on a bus to Chicago reopened my eyes to the possibility. It's kind of a funny story. I was visiting sisters in Chicago from a totally different community and realized pretty quickly that wasn't the place for me. And so I looked around a bit, and there was another community in town that happened to be having a come and see that weekend. I didn't know what a come and see was at the point, but I spent the weekend with them, and they were Franciscans, and it was a really nice experience. And I thought, hey, maybe Franciscans aren't that bad after all. So I started looking into some Franciscan communities, and that's when I came in contact with the sisters in Hankinson. So.
Well, tell us about the life there. I mean, it's not a cloistered community, so it's an active community. What are some of the other sisters engaged in? What's some of the work of the community there?
Right. So our big apostolate here right now is our retreat center. So we have a variety of groups that come in. We're getting ready right now for some quilters to come in. We have an auditorium. We used to have a school, and now the our gymnasium has been transformed into an auditorium. So they'll set up their machines and quilt away to their heart's content day and night if they want to. So we have quilting retreats. We have Sister Mary Ruth, who does spiritual direction and offers spiritual days of reflection and classes and retreats throughout the year. And I actually just moved back here about a year ago, so now I'm going to be more active in the retreat program, and I'm getting ready for a retreat in October. So we have a sister who does the bookkeeping, one who does like the administration of the facility, and so we also have a nursing home, kitty corner across the street, and one of our sisters works there at the front desk. So we're not a huge community, but we work together in those main apostolates.
Sounds like you're keeping pretty busy there, that's for sure. And it's kind of nice to kind of hear, because people, like you say, there's some mystery a little bit that people wonder about. It's like, what do they do all day long? Well, they keep busy. That's what they do, doing the Lord's work. Well, Sister Christina, we're so glad that you could join us for this segment, and we look forward to having you on a regular basis.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
It's Sister
Thank
Christina Marie Neumann, the wife of Jesus. Gotta love that.
Oh,
be
absolutely.
careful.
Yeah.
Because she's his spouse.
That's right. Love that segment. Love Nun Sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You know, it is great. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar. Some may not be. Religious sisters wear a wedding ring. They go through a wedding ceremony where they wed Jesus Christ in this life to mirror the wedding feast that will take place for all of us, all those followers of Christ in the life to come. But they get it here. They get it here. The spouse of Jesus.
Morning offering continuing after this short little break here on Annunciation Radio.